So the plot thickens. So Rtings came out and they remeasured firmware 13.10 and they didn't find any problems. Now, for anyone who's wondering, I'm measuring the 55-inch version of this television. If you go and you ask around, there are multiple people who have experienced this exact same problem. And I'm not even joking. Like, I started this because multiple people were telling me, the S90D feels like it got dimmer. Please retest it. I retested it and I found, yes, it's significantly dimmer. However, I recently just measured the brightness of my 65-inch and found no adjustment whatsoever. I don't know if there's a bug on 55 inches. I don't know if it's a bug that hits some 65, some 55s. I don't know. I do know that there is a substantial change in brightness that I perceived and saw with the data on the 55. Now, that being said, though, I can also tell you that it's still not as bright as what we were getting in the beginning. You got to understand, SDR numbers were over 1,000 nits and so were the HDR numbers. They were about the same when I first measured these TVs, and now they're in the 400 nit territory and sometimes below that. It doesn't make sense. And a lot of people can either opt to claim, oh, you didn't show your peak brightness measurements, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. A lot of people are looking for a way to excuse Samsung, and I don't understand how you could be possibly upset with what I've shown. I am transparently the only YouTuber at this level anyway with, damn near 100,000 subscribers that's telling you and showing you in real time, so that removes the element of guessing. Everybody else is just publishing their data and telling you something and you believe it. I'm the only one that sits here, hooks it up, shows you, walks through the process, measures everything, and shows you in real time. So in my opinion, that gives me the most credibility because I'm showing my shit out for everybody very transparently laid out in a way no one else has done yet. Not that they can't do it, they just don't do it. Don't know why they don't do it. They can do it. Not saying that their numbers aren't true and what they are finding aren't true. I'm just saying I don't know what the hell is going on. But I do know two things that we can take away from this. There is a brightness decrease. That is a multi-year problem. I've shown it off on the Samsung Q8FN from 2018 to prove that I've experienced this before, which is why I knew there was truth when people were saying there's something wrong with the brightness on the S90D. Furthermore, I also know that the auto update thing where you go offline and it just updates for the fuck of it, it is true and it does happen. And if you think I'm bullshitting, ask around. So what I would like is for anyone who's noticed a loss in your brightness after the update, or you've noticed that you've taken your TV offline and it just did it anyway, post those comments online for everyone to see. Because I know for a fact I'm not full of shit. I'm not talking out of the side of my neck. I'm not making any of this up. I have zero reason, goose egg reason, to lie about what I see in the data. Like, I just put it out there. I measure it and I get pissed off and I'm like, wow, you really fucked me over. Great. Now, that being said, I have a Samsung S90F on the way, so we will comparatively see if it got brighter, dimmer, whatever. We will log those numbers to see if weird shit changes down the road. But regardless, you have to understand, if we don't document this whole process from start to finish, we're fucked. Because after the reviews, I've noticed a trend where most TVs do tend to see some brightness decrease. And it's almost exclusively with Samsung. And again, you don't have to take my word for it. I've shown a real time, which means there is no editing. There's no real breaks. There's nothing. It's just literally straightforward shooting, showing you the Samsung Q8FN. Can anyone explain how something from 2018 sees the same exact thing I'm describing now after a firmware and it just is happening again in 2025? I mean, we saw it on the KS8000. Unfortunately, I no longer have that TV to go back and do all that, but you get the idea. It's one of those things that's perplexing. You guys know what it is. Most people, I don't know, I think a bug crawls up their shorts. I don't know, the excuse fairy comes down and tells them what to say. I don't know. But the reality is, in the real world, there are things that are happening that doesn't make sense, okay? It doesn't make sense that brightness is at one level. We saw it with the Samsung S95B. I mean, are we forgetting what this was? The Samsung S95B was brighter, and then it got dimmer. The S90D was brighter, got dimmer. I'm not making it up. Just the same way as the auto fucking firmwares that happened, which I didn't even update it, and I came back and it was dim. Shit, my wife notices all the time. Her TV gets dim as hell. She used to always have to put it in eco mode, okay? Because she hates bright TVs. Always would have to put it in eco mode. Too bright, turn it down. Now she doesn't even have to touch anything on the brightness. That kind of shit should tell you something, okay? Now, I get it. That's anecdotal. But the reality is, when I did the real-time test, you saw it, again, on another TV that had nothing to do with this. Even if you couldn't understand what you were seeing on the S90D, which I don't know how you couldn't see that. It was pretty fucking clear. And then, again, I can't express the amount of goalpost moving shit I've seen. I've seen people say, you didn't show the peak brightness. Everybody knows my settings are a VIP membership thing. You pay for them, you get them. It's helping the channel. It helps what we do here. I'm not fucking funded by anybody, so that's what we do. And for people that are like, oh, well, you need to show us all your settings. They're live. If you want to pay $5 for them, you can have all my HDR settings. I don't hide anything. The reality is, though, I'm not going to give them away for free. And I get really annoyed when they say, and even if you did have your peak brightness on high, because, you know, they always work in that little caveat, then we would have to just say it was a panel bug or a glitch on your end. Well, can't we, even at the least, say that this has happened? There is clear real-time proof of it happening on somebody's television. It's a substantial loss in brightness. It doesn't make sense. Don't know why it's happening, but it is clearly happening. So at the very least, you now have to guess whether you are or are not going to be one of the unlucky people, because trust me, I'm not the only one, that experienced this weird brightness bug where your shit just gets fucked up and it may or may not happen to you. Just like the people who may or may not get WOLEDs. Are you starting to see a trend with Samsung? They don't stick to what you think you're getting. People think they're getting QD-OLEDs and they get fucking WOLED. Samsung has been less than consistent as of late, and I think to cut them any slack on this issue is very naive and foolish. You are welcome to do what you want, but I made this video in a very vlog kind of way, very straightforward kind of way to let you know, hey, we don't have to lie around here. There's nothing we have to do but tell you the truth. And if you accept it, great. If you don't, hey, God bless you. I hope you never run into this because it's really infuriating. I can't tell you how pissed I am when I turn on my damn TV and it's dim as fuck. And I'm sitting here like, what am I going to do now? Like, I just bought this thing and now I'm stuck with it and it's dim as hell. It is what it is. That being said, though, again, we will do more tests. I have had requests to test the 95D, so we will probably do that, but the reality is this. These brightness things have been happening for years with Samsung. Open your eyes, log it down for everybody who has the tools and equipment to do it. I'm calling attention to it so you pay attention. And hopefully we're doing that. Thanks for watching the #1 brand in honesty, and until the next video, I'll see you guys later.